I will put this over here. So it's easier. So now let's see if we have a few people here join us today.
Probably not.
No?
5-minute rule.
What is that? 5-minute rule?
Nobody shows up in 5 minutes. Shut down.
Sounds like a good idea. All right. Yeah, we just came back from the vacation a couple of days ago and still trying to get back to the routine. Hey, Paul, thank you for being here. Hopefully you can hear us. I know it's last minute notice. We just disorganized this week. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, wow. That's 15.
All right. So the system is a little slow. So when we start just 0, so Ryan and I was thinking about if nobody shows up 5 minutes, we're going to go home. Well, you guys come here. Good to see you guys. And yeah, we don't have anything specifically planned, no topic planned. Just wanted to say hello and let you guys know we'll continue this 5-day talks moving forward. In case I know there's some people have questions, sometimes you guys call our business number. Unfortunately, sometimes most of the time you cannot get a hold of Ryan because he's in a shop. So we wanted to use this time to communicate with you guys. If you have any questions, make sure you let us know. So it is free and it is nice. All right.
So what have we been gone to? So we've missed 2 Fridays since we're gone. So those of you who didn't know what was going on, what was going on the last 2 weeks, we did a little summer vacation here. Went up to took a cruise out of Seattle up to Alaska, then spent a couple days down in Seattle area and Mount Rainier and all that stuff. And then my views of Canton have changed a lot since I went to Seattle. Canton's actually a really clean city. So that's one of the highlights of the trip. So, but anyways, I don't know if we had any.
Nothing really specific. I think we just wanted to maybe give you guys some updates on what's going on with our business, what's coming, and what we're working on, and maybe some other talks about some experience we have. Actually, some stuff and we experienced recently about people calling our business line, and maybe just wanted to get some our feelings.
It's kind of a bigger topic in general. So I know one of the things I hate is when, in the past when I've called a shop, like a dealer or whatever, I'm like, hey, I got this problem. And they're like, oh, you got to bring it in. That's really not what you want to hear. You want to try to get an answer so you can solve it yourself. But, we don't have a problem here, dealers and stuff are one thing. They have their policies. We personally, we don't, obviously we do this channel and we don't make a huge amount of money with YouTube. It helps drive our business. So basically we advertise for free and we do get paid a little bit, but not from YouTube. We do not make enough money to live on. It wouldn't even cover our fixed expenses here with our shop and everything, unfortunately. But anyways, we don't have a problem giving out as free information and all that, and we do that a lot, and we do get a lot of people that call in and stuff. But kind of in particular, I had a gentleman that got a little bit up, was asking some questions, and I didn't really know the whole situation. And I believe it was an emissions issue, which emissions issues can be very complex. There's a lot of different variables. A lot of wiring, sensors. So it's really, really hard to this is your problem, right over the phone. So unfortunately, this person got upset, and because I wouldn't give him an answer. I was like, it's the best thing is to bring it in and we can look at it. But we're not like a lot of other shops that won't help you out or try to help you out at least. We give a lot of people advice. If I know the problem, that 100%, yeah, I'll do this. But some issues it's hard, and for as far as liability reasons, I don't want to tell you something that's wrong, and then you go do something and you're like, oh, it made something worse, whatever. So I don't want to take that risk unless I really know 100% what it is. So that's kind of my stance on that. If I know something, I don't have a problem helping somebody out, but it's just a little frustrating for us when people get frustrated, like we're not telling you the answers, like, because we don't know all the facts and can't give you 100% answers. So that's, but like I said, we're not, and like other shops, we do give a lot of free information out and don't have a problem doing that. But also, as you'll notice, we don't have a YouTube store. We're not selling T-shirts to make a living and all that. We actually run a real shop here, and that's, I charge by the hour for what I do for my time. So like, if I'm running in here all day answering questions and not billing customers, then we don't have any income. So unfortunately, so that's why it's hard to give, we're to be 100%, here on the computer answering comments and questions all day, because we would be bankrupt
long time
very,
ago.
very quickly. So that's
Yeah.
just our kind of my 2 cents on that. Because like I said, when we was on our vacation, there was somebody that evidently got a little bit upset that we wasn't answering the question, I guess, to their standards, or had a yes, this is the problem type of answer. So
yeah, I wanted to just add a little bit. We on YouTube we do post our information. However, those are our business phone number. So I answer phone. We get a lot of phone calls every day. So we do, trying to expect people to respect. That's our business line. We're waiting. That line is designed for business purpose, not for YouTube answering questions. Ryan and I really wanted to support this community. That's why we have this time dedicated to help people out. And of course, during the conversation, we get a lot from you guys as well. It's always good to talk to you guys. But please respect. That's our business line. And Ryan, most time you call and I answer the phone. Ryan's in the shop. He's trying to help people out who's waiting in a parking lot or waiting in a hotel. I cannot drag him out of a bus, underneath a bus or underneath a truck, just trying to answer one of the questions. If you have a question, make sure you save it so we can discuss on here. That's what what we're trying to do this for. So please don't, just respect. That's our business line. And also, if you have specific questions, we have our email. If we can't answer, we will. But also respect. Ryan works 10 hours, 12 hours a day. He is very tired after he finishes his day. I really hope you guys understand. Yeah.
Anyways,
now time to answer some questions. I'm sure you guys saved some questions up. Let's go from the top. And first I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for letting us know the audio is good, because that's always the first thing I worried about. And then
yeah, so the question or the comment about the live chat. Yeah, so with the in the past we've put out a lot of more formatted type of videos, and I think it's best to keep touch with everybody and try to have some time to actually answer what we're just talking about at the beginning of this video about people calling, asking questions. So this gives us some time, like a forum basically for that, questions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for the comment. So I think you had an update on the electric APU.
Yes, I'm working on the website.
No, on the first unit that we put out.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I will give you guys update on that. So our great customer who had the first APU from us, he told us that on the what day, 105 degrees outside, and he sets it on the 65 degrees. That's very extreme. You have very high delta T, meaning that you have a lot of cooling loads from that unit. So that's kind of extreme. Unless you really like your unit to be 65 degrees, that's for me is cold. So for me, it's normally 70, 72 is good. So for that extreme delta T, he's getting roughly 8 hours from that 4 lithium battery. And then for a normal situation, I believe he mentioned about outside 80, roughly mid 80s, and he's setting it roughly 70. That's kind of like a normal condition. He's running 12 hours from that electric APU. So which is actually in line with what our expectation.
With doing the calculations and what we've heard off of testing with the batteries, that's pretty close to where we want to be. With that, I would like to get a little bit more as a buffer. So I'm thinking about, as we've talked about the battery box situation. So we're going to build our own battery boxes here since we can't buy them, since somebody's buying them all up directly from like Iconic and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to put together a battery box that will hold 6 batteries and have an option to have 6 total batteries in parallel. So I think that would give us, be able to push that closer, running kind of a medium, not crazy hot outside, but like that mid 80s, maybe 90, and running 70. I'd like to be able to get that, to that 15, 16 hour mark is what I would like to see. Then in the extreme hot, maybe be able to get 10 to 12. So
Yeah.
So we'll have that as an option, but obviously with adding 2 extra batteries, the lithiums, it's going to add a little bit of cost. So
yeah, but I do notice there's another battery, lithium battery, that's kind of people said good things about them. We're gonna try out.
And there's some
much
bigger,
cheaper, affordable price.
bigger footprint battery. They're bigger than a Type 31, which they are cheaper.
Yeah.
But again, you have a lot bigger single battery instead of the normal Type 31 size batteries, which the Type 31s, if you don't know, are your standard truck batteries. So
yeah. So the other exciting thing about electric APU is that we have financing options for this. Since our price is really affordable compared to other people charging, it's just, me and Ryan, we're not really make a killing out of that. We're really making just the minimal make sense for our business to run. So so our price is really good. Plus, we have financing options for people to look into. I'm gonna post that on our website. We're doing an overhaul on our website at the same time. So combine all our repair business, DPF cleaning business, electric APU business, and some storefront to sell some of the product we carry here. So that's going to be probably go live next week. So you will see more information specifically about our electric APU. So our options, financing options. If you can't wait that long, feel free to give me a call. Our business number on Fox Truck and Tractor business number, you can call or texting, so we can at least submit an application in your behalf to get loan approved. Then we can actually start to work on your installed APU on your truck. So in that way, you won't be hot, too hot. So yeah.
So then kind of going down the list. Yeah, thanks, Greg, for the lead. We're getting the word out there, so appreciate that.
Yeah, always appreciate that, guys.
Truck transmission fluid. So with most Eaton Fuller transmissions, they run a 50 weight synthetic, and typically 500,000 would be the most I would run one. So if you got 650 on the original, I'd get that changed probably pretty quick. So
cool. That one. I'm gonna put this on the screen so you can see here. So I'm gonna go one by one, guys. If you have a question, keep posting, and we're gonna get it one by one.
Okay, so bad piston in an engine burns half a gallon each day. I mean, I've heard of stuff running more or burning more. I've heard of trucks using a gallon or 2 a day. I mean, it's really, really hard to determine. I mean, it could let loose tomorrow, or it might last years. So it's really, really hard to give you a good determination on that. But yeah, I mean, that's quite a bit of oil. I mean, but like I said, I've known people that are running a gallon or 2 a day. So that's not extremely terrible as far as the worst that I've heard. But as far as like a lifespan, it'd be really tricky to kind of give you a time frame on that. I know in frames these days are not cheap. So
I'm gonna post this from Gary.
Okay, so you're referring to we started that like a year and a half ago. So
in our backyard.
Yeah, in our backyard at the old place. So I had an older carrier unit that was sent to me to like refurbish, and when it got to me, it looked like it had been at the bottom of a pond somewhere for several years. So it was pretty rough. The generator, the actual, because the carriers have a 6K generator alternator, that makes AC power to run the heat pump inside. So that was all shot. I mean, it was going to cost more to rebuild this thing. And basically, I mean, you can check the video out in our old reels or whatever. But yeah, it needed a lot of work. It was going to cost us more to rebuild it, put it back together, than it would be just to go buy a new one, basically. So I had an idea, like I was going to kind of gut it, rebuild the frame. I bought a rebuild kit for the little Kubota engine, and we were going to basically build like a manual AC AC and charging system. Just put like an automotive, regular automotive style AC compressor. There's some kits you can buy like on eBay and stuff that have all your other AC hoses, components, evaporator, condenser coil fan, all that, evaporator fan, all that type of stuff. So we was going to put a whole, like basically build a manual system with no computer, just relay logic and switches. But unfortunately with buying the building and everything we've done down here, it kind of got that project. It's still sitting in the basement. It's down here in the basement. I just haven't touched it for probably about since we did that video. So it's been a while, but it's still, we have some other plans with our APU offerings, because kind of the way I'm wanting to go with my business is get more into like being a full line shop. With the way the labor market is today, it's basically me and a little bit of help, and it's offering everything like transmissions, engine work, all that stuff. It's just, you're basically just working off of your hours. So I'm trying to get it more in. If you haven't noticed, what we're trying to get more into is product offerings and like systems, like solutions, like APU systems, you know, kind of specializing in emission stuff. And we've brought in a couple of different product lines. So we're a jaw test dealer now. We're
working with PDI as well.
Yeah, we're looking at PDI to bring in their products as well. We're just kind of looking at terms as far as a dealership term and all that. And also, what's the filters?
Yeah, we have a Donaldson
filters.
Yeah,
so we have those.
Guys, we also have Donaldson filters as well. Really great pricing.
And then with our electric APUs right now, we've partnered up with the American side of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be offering for the same AC unit that we just installed, and we did the video about that's out on the road now that we were just talking about. We actually have an under the bunk option as well, so it's a little bit more than what the overhead interior unit is. But there'll be more to follow that, and we're actually going to be a dealer where you could come and buy the unit yourself and take it home, or we could ship it to you or whatever, and put that in yourself if you wanted to install it yourself as well. So, but anyways, with that APU project, the Carry APU rebuild project, it's not totally. I want to build like a gas or diesel option as well, something that's a lot simpler. But it's just a matter of finding the time and money and all that stuff here. Just especially when you go on vacation for almost 2 weeks and you don't have any income and you spend twice as much as what you thought. Now it's going to take catch up for 2 months. So.
Yes. All right. So, Paul, thank you for letting us know. Hopefully you're still staying with us. William?
Yeah.
Thank you, William. I'm going to go through this.
Okay, what rear end gears do you like to run for OTR? Best mileage, making the mountains with heavy loads?
That's a great question, though.
There's a lot to go with that. I mean, I would prefer 500 horsepower engine, a 13-speed manual, and either 336s or 342 rears, which you don't see 342s a lot. I mean, but it's kind of a good in between. A 355 is great, but your fuel economy is going to be quite terrible from a 336. So 342s, if you can find one, are pretty nice, or a 342 with a 10-speed is pretty nice. But for me, like the ideal cross-country truck going from Ohio to California, Washington, or whatever would be a 500 horsepower 13-speed manual and probably 336s. So now if you had a 10-speed, you can find a 342. I mean, that's not a bad configuration either.
Awesome. I like this knowledge. All right, I'm gonna go next one. Greg?
And just to kind of go a little bit further on that. So I had a 2017 T680 with a PACCAR MX-13. It was a 455, 13-speed manual and 336 rears. I mean, I could pretty pulled pretty well over the mountains and all that out there, out in Wyoming, and all that good stuff. And most of y'all that know me, I have a pretty heavy foot. When I'm on the road, if it's 80 mile an hour, if the sign says 80 mile an hour, I'm going 80 mile an hour. So I mean, I've always liked to get where I'm going and move on with life. So with that configuration, I was averaging, my lifetime average on that truck was right around 7 mpg. So not too bad considering the higher speeds and the terrains as well. So.
All right, so move on to Greg. Oh, compliment. Love that. Thank you, Greg. All right, got to come back. All right, another compliment. All right, I feel good about that too. Thank you.
So hourly rates during we do weekends. Just it's kind of sporadic. Sometimes I'll, like right now, since we just got back off a trip, I mean, I'll probably be working here 7 days a week for the next couple of weeks just to kind of get things caught up and get ahead financially a little bit. But normally during the week we're at $115 an hour. That's Monday through Friday regular time. Then on the weekends, what's the weekend?
140.
140 for the weekend rates. So because I've got a lot of local customers here that are Monday through Friday, and they're willing, so it's kind of a more like a priority spot over the weekends for people, like a first class seat, I guess, if you want to compare to something where people are willing to pay a little bit extra to not have their truck down, Monday through Friday. So,
I'm assuming.
I'm not exactly sure what that's.
What's the cost? Isabella, if you can let us know what was your question, the cost of our APU or something like that. So it's just in any case, if you're asking about our electric APU, so the 4 battery, all lithium batteries, the unit we installed. If you haven't watched the video, go to our video library to look at that. It's not really old, recent video. So that electric APU system, it'll be $7,700 as of now. So the price might increase a little bit because we're gonna add this under the bunk units as one of the options. So the price might increase a little bit, but the original one will stay at $7,700.
Yeah, that's basically like the base model. Like, so we're gonna put out probably a 6 battery unit, which had to be roughly, what would you say? I mean, the batteries alone are going to be almost 1,500 or more just for 2 extra batteries. With the current batteries that we're using, the
box,
the lightning, the Road Warrior Lightning Bolt battery is what we're using now. So.
Yep. I'm gonna go to get weight.
If you have an APU, you're already allowed a 400-pound exemption for that. So your gross, you're allowed, if you have an APU, whether it's a carrier, tri-pack or electric APU or whatever, you're automatically allowed a 400-pound exemption, which would put you at 80,400 pounds. So I know a lot of those systems, I mean, can weigh more than that. I mean, especially, like AGMs are kind of heavy. Or if you're running I'm not exactly sure what the carriers and the Thermo King, diesel units weigh, but I would assume they're probably approaching that 400 pounds, possibly more. So a lot of times it don't really, unless you can get something like the original system, the first system we put out, I calculated it's probably under 250 pounds. So you could have a little bit of an advantage there. So
yeah. Best engine right now.
I don't know. Every engine out there has its problems or drawbacks and pros and cons. Me personally, I like Cummins just because of the one thing. Everybody sells Cummins, whether it's a Volvo dealer, Kenworth dealer, Freightliner dealer. Everybody sells Cummins, and they're a lot easier. It seems like they're a little less proprietary as far as software goes. Cummins Insights, you can get Cummins Insight directly through Cummins for like $707. That's for the Insight Pro. You can get it for like $770 a year for a subscription. I mean, you have to buy a COM adapter and all that, and you have to have a laptop or like a tough pad type of thing like we got. But it is relatively cheap. I mean, easy to work on. Not a whole lot of major issues. One of the things about Detroit is this Detroit and Volvo. It seems like and PACCAR, the software is a little bit more expensive for the software suites. I mean, for Detroit Diagnostic Link, the last time I've let my subscription lapse because we're using Jaw Test and also our Snap-on ProLink Edge thing. So we don't really need Diagnostic Link now, and it's like almost $2,000 a year for that subscription. So it's pretty pricey. So I mean, I'm pretty well a Cummins fan. So I mean, parts availability has been pretty good. We haven't had too many major back order situations or anything like that. So
yeah, all right. So that covers the last question as well. So we're gonna running out of time pretty soon.
Yeah, we do have to kind of leave a little bit early today. We got a couple. We're still kind of getting back into the swing of things here. We got a couple things to do after work here.
Yeah, let's speed up and try to finish everything. What would cause radiator coolant hose to collapse after sitting overnight?
I'd really need to know a little. I mean, is it overheating? I don't know if you could elaborate a little bit more if there's any other things going on, if the engine's running cool, like if it's running too cool, like down in the 160s, or if it's running a little bit warmer, that type of information. I mean, you might possibly want to look at changing your radiator. There's on a lot, depending on what truck it is, most of those trucks these days have two radiator caps, like one out on the side. That's actually your pressure cap. So it could be creating a vacuum, possibly from the thermostat. Just like I said, without a little bit more background info, it'd be really hard to give you a definitive answer. So
let's go to this APU thing.
Landstar.
I'm looking at this one. Go here. Look at here.
Anything else with the system? Just let's see. They want 8K to replace everything. I mean, we could price one of the compressors. You know, we just actually have a funny thing to tell you after we get done here about as far as AC compressors. Yeah, I mean, for 8K, I mean, we could sell you a whole new system with lithium batteries and install it and everything for that. So, yeah, that seems kind of high. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to reach out to us, I mean, I'd be happy to price that. We get pretty good pricing through our dealers here. I mean, we'd be happy to take a look at what you got going on and look at options. So.
Yeah, so I'm gonna answer Greg's question. So yes, we can do trailers,
company trailers, and owner operator and trailers, all those. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a 420 ISX 425, dropped from 7.5 down to low sixes. You said you placed a EGR valve. Have you looked at the EGR cooler as well? Because those can contribute a lot. And also, I mean, your DPF, if it's getting plugged up, that can cause, if it's doing excessive regions, even though you might not know it's doing a region when it's, when it's driving down the road doing regions, if it's doing more, it obviously burns a lot of your EGR core. If it's not cooling efficiently or if it's partially plugged up, that would cause higher fuel consumption as well. So those are two things I would look at. I mean, you can take the ends off of the EGR core or the tubes, and sometimes you can see it or get in there with a camera and see if they're set up really bad or plugged up. So.
Answer this under the bunk. Batteries is under the bunk as well.
We've been putting our batteries outside with the lightning bolt batteries we're using. They are supposed to charge efficiently down to -4 Fahrenheit. So obviously you're not going to be running air conditioning when it's -4 outside. So it really hasn't been. I know that's come up. We've had a couple other customers asking about because traditionally lithium batteries they don't perform very well in cold weather. But these particular batteries that we're using, they are supposed to be rated down to -4. So and again, you're not going to be having as big of a draw off of the batteries in the wintertime as you would in the summer with running, because the AC is going to be the biggest consumer of that power. So we haven't really, I mean, if somebody wanted to have the batteries under the bunk, I mean, I don't have a problem doing that, but we haven't, given the specs on the batteries we're using, it's not really been
A problem.
a problem.
Yeah, concern.
Yeah, concern.
Yeah, let's take Terry's. How long would you need to do a DPF filter and burn unit? One new filters get core on old one. Let's put new turbo in.
So our cleaning process, like if somebody brings me a filter that's ready to go in the oven, it's about a 24-hour turnaround. So I mean, if somebody comes in and you want us to take everything off, you're, and especially with a turbo, you're going to be here a couple days. Yeah. So yeah, I would probably say two to 3 days or so, because usually we're working on multiple projects at once just to keep the flow. But yeah, like I said, if you carry in the filters and they're ready to throw in the oven, it's about an 8-hour heating cycle. Then it's about a 16-hour cool down. So roughly a 24-hour process before we can pull them out.
All right. Okay, I think we pretty much cover most of the questions. Well, I'll have Ryan rate the last one, but I just wanted to say thank you for being with us the past 30 minutes. And if you have friends who's driving who would be benefiting from listening, Ryan answer questions, feel free to spread the words and let them know we're here every Friday at 4:30, unless notified and we have some emergencies and something going on here. But we wanted to see you guys every week on Friday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss anything new. And we have a lot of exciting projects and also videos coming up thank you very much. And do you want to answer this last question? I'm going to post on the screen. Yeah, we probably.
It's kind of late, so we'll save that one for next week.
Okay, I'll take a picture of that. And Carlos, if you don't mind, come to our live stream next week, and we'll answer your question. Apologize, we have some family stuff going on. We gotta have to go. And thank you, everybody. Good to see you guys. See you next time. Bye bye.